mystic tales and legends. Enter a world of ancient stories and forgotten legends.
The winds around Mount Koru had changed. For countless generations, they had carried the sweet fragrance of cedar forests, mountains' flowers, and fresh rain. Now they carried something else. A whisper so faint that only the oldest creatures could hear it. The wolves refused to hole beneath the mountain. The eagles abandoned their nests near Gorun's cliff. Even the great bears that had roamed Mount Koru for centuries disappeared into distant valleys. Nature itself was retreating. Something ancient was awakening. Far below, life in the Kingdom of Koru continued as it always had. Children laughed beside the rivers. Farmers harvested golden grain. Blacksmiths forged plows and horseshoes. Merchants filled the marketplace with colorful fabrics, spices,
For you, a special
pottery,
price.
and precious
I'll take them.
stones.
Fine silks, best in the land.
Spices for every dish, jewels fit for royalty.
Yet beneath the joy, an uneasiness lingered. The people had begun to notice that the giants no longer worked together.
The people had begun to notice.
That the giants no longer work together.
Bellum repaired bridges alone. Mara carried supplies without Gorun's help. Doran rebuilt villages while Toran comforted frightened families. Only Gorun remained upon his throne of stone, overlooking the kingdom in silence. Some villagers defended him.
He deserves greater honor. He has saved us more times than anyone. He is the strongest guardian.
Others shook their heads. A true guardian serves without asking for praise. The mountain has changed him. The pride in his heart frightens me. Slowly, quietly, the kingdom began to divide. One evening, as crimson sunlight disappeared beyond the western hills, the mysterious traveler returned. He emerged from the mist as though he had stepped out of the mountain itself. His black cloak moved without the wind. His eyes glowed with an unnatural blue light. Gorun stood from his stone throne.
You have returned. I said I would. Tell me your name. Names have power.
After a long silence, he spoke.
Long ago I was called Narek. I walked this mountain before your people built their first homes, and I have watched them fall. Why do you seek me? Because greatness recognizes greatness.
Those words pleased Gorun. Narek walked towards the edge of the cliff. Far below, the kingdom shimmered
Look at them.
beneath moonlight.
They sleep peacefully. They sleep because of you. They harvest because of you. They live because of you. And still they refuse to honor you above all others.
Gorun remained silent. His pride had become fertile soil. Every word planted another seed. Days later, Gorun made a decision. He descended from the mountain and entered the largest village in the kingdom. The people rushed outside. Children smiled. Old women bowed. Men lowered their heads in respect. But Gorun did not smile.
I have come with a decree.
The village says we are listening, great guardian. From this day onward, every village shall build a monument in my honor.
The people looked at one another. A monument? Yes. Every harvest season you shall gather here. You shall offer thanks to me.
We already give thanks to all 12 guardians.
No, the time for that has ended. I alone have protected this kingdom more than any other.
A fearful silence followed. No one dared argue. Yet in their hearts, uncertainty spread. News traveled swiftly. Within days, every village had heard Gorun's command. Some obeyed out of fear. They carved towering statues in his likeness. Others
Gorun
refused.
is our greatest guardian. We honor every guardian equally.
Our ancestors made that promise.
Arguments erupted across the kingdom. Neighbors who had lived peacefully for generations now quarreled. Families stopped speaking. Friends parted ways. The unity that had protected Koru for centuries was beginning to crack, exactly as Narek had hoped. High above, the remaining giants gathered once more around the sacred fire. The flames burned low. Their light seemed weaker than before. Gorun broke the silence.
Our brother has crossed a dangerous line.
Bellum lowered his head.
He no longer asks for gratitude. He demands it.
Mara clenched her
This
fist.
continues, the kingdom will tear itself apart.
Gorun looked towards the distant villages. The people already argue because of him. For a long moment, no one spoke. Finally, Gorun rose.
It is time. We must confront Gorun.
The others looked at him. The following morning, the 11 giants climbed the eastern cliffs, where Gorun sat upon his throne. He watched them approach but did not rise. I wonder how long it would take.
Brother, I am no longer your brother. I am your leader.
Mara stepped forward.
No giant leads another.
That old way is finished. Who told you such things?
For a heartbeat, Gorun almost answered. His thoughts drifted to Narek, but he remained silent. The shadow traveler had warned him. They would never understand. They fear your greatness, and now Gorun believed it. The argument lasted until sunset. Voices thundered across the mountains. Birds fled, rocks tumbled from the cliffs. Finally, Gorun pointed towards the valley below.
If you refuse to recognize me, then leave my mountain. Your mountain? This mountain belongs to me!
At that instant, the sacred spring burst from the mountainside. Its crystal waters turned dark. The trees surrounding it lost their leaves. Flowers withered in moments. The giant stepped back. Gorun's face grew pale.
The mountain is wounded. No storm had caused this. No drought. No fire.
Mount Koru itself was responding to the darkness growing in Gorun's heart. Far above the clouds, the sky spirit watched with sorrow. The stars dimmed. Lightning flashed silently across the heavens. The voice of the spirit rolled through the sky like distant thunder.
The first warning has come. If pride is not abandoned, stone shall replace flesh.
The ancient prophecy had begun, but Gorun heard only the echo of his own ambition. Behind him, hidden within the shadows of the cliff, Narek smiled. For he was never a traveler. He was an ancient spirit of pride and division. Long before the giants were created, he had tried to corrupt the world. The sky spirit had imprisoned him deep beneath Mount Koru. Now, through Gorun's growing arrogance, his prison was beginning to break. The mountain trembled once again. Deep underground, something answered. The night after the sacred spring turned dark. No one in the Kingdom of Koru slept peacefully. The mountain groaned, deep beneath its ancient roots. Strange sounds echoed through caverns no human had ever seen. The elders gathered around their fires. They whispered of an old prophecy that had never been forgotten. It spoke of a day when the hearts of the guardians would be tested. If even one guardian allowed pride to rule over wisdom, the mountain itself would become a battlefield. And if the battle reached the peak of Koru, the sky spirit would pass judgment. Before sunrise, Gorun climbed to the highest ridge of the mountain. There, he found Narek waiting. The mysterious figure stood beside the black stone, unlike any found on Mount Koru. It shimmered with a dark light.
You have done well. The kingdom is divided. They refuse to recognize the truth. They will.
Narek placed his hand on the black stone.
Power does not come only from strength. It comes from loyalty. Gather those who believe in you. Then the kingdom will have no choice.
Gorun looked towards the villages below. For the first time, he imagined himself not as a guardian, but as a ruler. The thought no longer frightened him. It excited him. Within days, messengers traveled from village to village. They carried Gorun's command.
Those who believe Gorun is the greatest guardian shall gather at the foot of the mountain during the next full moon.
We will follow Gorun! What does Gorun offer?
Some answered eagerly, others came out of curiosity. Many stayed away. When the full moon rose, thousands stood before Gorun's stone throne. He towered above them. His voice roared like thunder. I have protected you. I have carried your burdens. I have defended your homes. Will you stand with me? Many people knelt. Others remained standing in silence. A few quietly turned and walked away. Watching from the cliff, Toran's heart became heavy.
People are forgetting. They were meant to honor service, not power.
The 11 remaining giants gathered once again.
If we do nothing, the kingdom will tear itself apart.
The villagers already argue. Doran's bridges are being destroyed by people fighting one another. Even the rivers seem troubled. Fish disappeared from their waters. The forest grew strangely quiet.
It is time to speak to Gorun one last time. If he refuses, we must stop him.
None of the giants wished for such a day. They had lived as brothers for centuries. They had never raised a hand against one another. They all knew that sometimes protecting the innocent required painful choices. As the sun reached its highest point, the 11 giants climbed towards Gorun's throne. This time, they carried no weapons, only hope. Gorun watched them approach.
I expected you.
Toran stepped forward.
We have not come to fight. Then why have you come? To remind you who you are.
For a long moment, silence hung over the mountain. Bellum spoke gently. You once rescued my life when an avalanche buried me. Mara smiled sadly. You carried me across the great river when I was too young to swim. Doran added, you taught children how to build shelters after storms. The memories filled the air like echoes. For a brief instant, Gorun's expression softened. He remembered those days. He remembered laughing with his brothers. He remembered serving without expecting anything in return. The Narek's voice drifted through his thoughts. They pity you. They fear your greatness. They want to keep you beneath them. Gorun's heart hardened once more. I owe you nothing. You stand in my way. Ran lowered his head. So this is your answer. It is. The oldest giant sighed. Then may the sky spirit forgive what happened next. Slowly, the 11 giants formed a circle. Not to attack. To contain him. To prevent him from marching into the kingdom. Gorun laughed.
You believe you can stop me?
His enormous hand struck the mountainside. The earth exploded. Massive boulders rolled down the slopes. The 11 giants leaped aside. The first blow had been struck. The war of the giants had begun. The battle shook Mount Koru. Gorun swung an ancient cedar tree as though it was a staff. Belon caught it and hauled it harmlessly into an empty valley. Gorun called to his brothers,
Protect
the people. Do not fight with anger. The giants obeyed. Even in battle, they refused to seek revenge. They fought only to prevent greater destruction. But Gorun fought with rage. Each strike shattered cliffs. Each row echoed for miles. The mountain itself cried out beneath the weight of the conflict. Far below, the people watched in horror. Children clung to their parents.
Deeper! Find safety!
I'm scared!
Courage! We're almost
The
there!
king stood upon the palace
I never believed
walls.
I would see brothers at war.
Pride has blinded the strongest among them.
The elders gathered the children and led them into caves for safety.
Into the caves! Hurry! Stay together! Don't stop!
Across the kingdom, prayers rose to the heavens.
Please save Mount Koru!
As the battle reached, something extraordinary happened. The clouds above the mountain began to swell into a great circle. Lightning flashed without striking. The wind suddenly stopped. Every giant froze. A radiant light descended from the heavens. The voice of the sky spirit filled the sky.
Gorun, this is your final chance. Lay down your pride. Return to your brothers in
For
all
a
she
long
forgiven.
moment, no one moved. Even Narek waited. The future of the kingdom rested on Gorun's next words. Gorun looked at his brothers. He looked at the frightened people below. Then he lifted his head towards the heavens.
I bow to no one.
The light above dimmed. Toran closed his eyes in sorrow. Belon whispered.
It is done.
High above the clouds, the sky spirit spoke one final sentence.
Then the mountain itself shall bear witness.
Thunder shook the heavens. The ground split open. Deep beneath Mount Koru, ancient power awakened, and the true judgment had begun.